This is your Adventist News Update, a service of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm Andrea Musgrove. Coming up in the news, pastoral families in the Atlantic Caribbean Union participate in virtual week of prayer. Church admonished to be good stewards of their finances, and political party in Australia seeks to ban the Lord's Prayer from Parliament. These stories and more on this week's Adventist News Update. This is your Adventist News Update. Thank you for joining us this week. Pastoral families within the Atlantic Caribbean Union of Seventh-day Adventists, which includes the Bahamas, Cayman, and the Turks and Caicos Islands, joined over 3,000 of their counterparts from across the Inter-American Division in a virtual week of prayer. Pastor Hector Sanchez, Ministerial Secretary for the Church in the Inter-America, said that the main focus of the event was to strengthen the unity of the pastor and his family. Let them know that their ministry is valued and that the church is concerned about their well-being. The week of prayer began with a live program broadcast from the headquarters in Miami, Florida. On January 31st, pastors and their families in New Providence congregated at ATCU headquarters on Gladstone Road. It was said to be an inspirational experience as they sang hymns, prayed, and viewed the live broadcast together. Some family members who were separated by distance even joined the session by Skype. World Church President Elder Ted Wilson and his wife gave words of support during the event to the families via a pre-recorded message. He encouraged the pastoral families to go forward in the joy and strength of the Lord, ever keeping in mind that wonderful promise found in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8, verse 10, which says, "Do not sorrow, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." Elder Israel Leto, president of the Inter-American Division, in his keynote address, shared intimately from his own experience on the real meaning of service for the pastoral family. He encouraged them to renew their commitment to God, to be grateful to each other, worship the Lord, serve Him, and be faithful to Him during this week of rededication and consecration. Throughout the past week, pastors and their families continue the week of prayer by watching the pre-recorded programs prepared by pastors across the region in Spanish, English, and French. Themes covered including the pastoral family as a whole, the pastoral marriage, the pastor as a husband, the pastor's wife and children, devotional habits for the family, and more. The virtual week of prayer will conclude with another live broadcast from Miami, Florida on Saturday, February 8th. The first Treasury Conference in the Atlantic Caribbean Union was held on February 3rd and 4th at the Breezes Hotel. Paul Douglas, Director of the General Conference Auditing Services, was one of the 4 presenters for the conclave. He admonished the union officers and administrators to be involved in protecting the organization's resources as well as its reputation. Approximately 30 persons from within the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and the Cayman Islands were in attendance. This incorporated workers in Treasury departments of the schools and conferences and missions, field administrators, along with administrators and staff of the union during the 2-day event. The aim was to improve transparency and accountability, as well as preventing rather than detecting fraud in the churches and their institutions. Douglas reminded the participants that we owe it to the members that after they have given freely, there would be accountability and transparency. He further commented that as administrators, it should always be their mandate to protect the church by preventing abuses. He also reminded them that God is our CEO. Other presentations were made by personnel from the IAD, namely Elizabeth Christian, Associate Treasurer, Sandra Thomas, Assistant Treasurer, and Ivalis Herrera, Deputy Treasurer. The winner for last week's history question was number 5572176. Congratulations. Now is your time to try this week's history question.
What is the name of the Seventh-day Adventist physician who became the first black urologist to have a practice in the state of Florida? A. Dr. Ben Carson, B. Dr. Joseph Evans, or C. Dr. Nigel Lewis?
When we come back after this short break, more news from the Turks and Caicos Islands Mission in Convention 2014.
Hello, I'm Curtis Bryan, and I'm encouraging you to join me on Lessons from the Word every Friday evening and Sabbath afternoon. On Lessons from the Word, we look at various discussions, various topics from our Bible. Anytime you want a clearer picture of what's going on, just join us on Lessons from the Word.
Welcome back to News Update. The Turks and Caicos Islands Mission held its annual convention last weekend. Crystal Robinson filed this story on the event.
The Turks and Caicos Islands Mission of Seventh-day Adventists held its annual convention on January 24th to the 26th, 2014, under the theme, The Year of the Lord's Favor, Blessed to Bless. The weekend was filled with soul-stirring music from praise and worship groups, duets, and the convention choir, which was comprised of members from the 4 churches on the island of Providenciales. Present at convention were the officers of the Atlantic Caribbean Union in the persons of President Dr. Leonard Johnson, Executive Secretary Pastor Peter Carr, and Treasurer Elder Roderick Sands. Guest speaker for the weekend was the president of the South Bahamas Conference, Pastor Paul A. Scavella. Pastor Scavella encouraged the members to remain faithful to God so that they can experience divine favor in their lives. In his Friday night message, he stated that the Christian walk is a struggle, but that God wants his children to persevere through their challenges.
As we grow into 2014, there is going to be a struggle in our lives. We're going to have to struggle to lay down ourselves and take up the will of God in our life. There's always this juxtaposition in the Christian's life, and we need to recognize it. This old man is always there, trying to raise up his hand, trying to take over in our life. But Jesus said, I need you to struggle through that struggle by surrendering to my word.
He went on to tell the congregants that they should not rely on their expertise in doing the Lord's work, but to lean on God.
As a leader, I have to constantly struggle to ask God to help me not to use my expertise. You remember when Peter was walking on the water? He was struggling before. He said, but Lord, if you let me come, Lord says, come on. He can start walking. You ever tried walking on water? But by the time as he starts walking, it's because God is now working a miracle in his life. God is blessing him. But the fact of the matter is that he takes his eye off of Jesus and he allows his own personal abilities and capacity to overwhelm him.
The weekend ended with Pastor Leonard Johnson conducting a training session focusing on the governance of the church at all levels. The training program is a part of our ongoing Elder Certification program in the Turks and Caicos Islands Mission. For more news and updates of events in our mission, visit us online at www.turksandcaicosmission.org. I'm Crystal Robinson reporting for TCI Mission.
And in upcoming events in the South Bahamas Conference, the annual 8 Weeks to Wellness program begins on Monday, February 24th at 6 p.m. at the former Bahamas Academy Gym on Wolf Road. The program is for all ages and it seeks to help families manage their health, weight, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. Pre-registration and screening is compulsory and a registration fee is required. And the dates and venue for the registration, you can do that at Living Faith Seventh-day Adventist Church on Old Trail Road on Thursday, February 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. and also on Sunday, February 23rd from 3 to 5 p.m. And also note that the program is limited to the first 250 persons registered, so make sure you get your name in there. For more information, call the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists at the headquarters, 341-4021. Bible Boom Finals will be held on Sabbath, April 5th at the Message of Hope Seventh-day Adventist Church at 5 p.m. The books of the Bible assigned for the study are Minor Prophets. Churches are asked to submit names of the participants to the Youth Department of the South Bahamas Conference headquarters. There will be a risk management, health and safety seminar at the Johnson Park Seventh-day Adventist Church on Sunday, February 16th from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. The seminar will be conducted by Pastor C. Melvin Lewis, the treasurer of the South Bahamas Conference. All elders, treasurers, health and safety officers, department heads, youth and Pathfinder officers, and all local church officers are strongly urged to attend this eye-opening seminar that is designed to highlight the various risks the church may be exposed to. This seminar promises to be both interactive and informative. And join the Berea Seventh-day Adventist Church on East Street South for their Health Emphasis Week under the theme Abundant Living from February 12th to the 16th. The activities begin on Wednesday, February 12th at 7:15 p.m. with a prayer and praise service and continue on Sabbath, February 15th with the 11 a.m. Divine Worship Service. And on Sunday, February 16th from 2 to 6 p.m. you can take advantage of cooking classes where you will learn how to cook with whole foods and sprouts. Blood screening and demonstration of the use of natural remedies will also be conducted.
According to the Health Ministries Department of the North American Division of Seventh-day Adventists, here are 10 ways to choose full life. Number 1. Say no to tobacco. The Palo Alto Medical Foundation reports that smoking and tobacco use not only causes cancer, but may cause sudden death because of irregularities in the heartbeat. Number 2. Say no to alcohol and drugs. The benefits of sobriety are numerous, including the fact that you will have a healthy liver and also prevent strokes. Number 3. Say yes to exercise. Exercising has a multitude of positive effects on your body, including improved heart and lung efficiency, reducing your chances of developing heart diseases, and many other benefits. Number 4. Eat more plant foods. Studies have shown that vegetarians following a well-balanced, low-fat, high-fiber vegetarian diet often have lower incidence of coronary artery disease, hypertension, obesity, and some forms of cancer. Number 5. Make time to rest. Relaxation is perhaps the single most important key to health and well-being. It is the antidote to stress, which is known to contribute to the development of disease. When we relax, our body has an opportunity to unwind. Number 6. Volunteer regularly. With busy lives, it can be hard to find time to volunteer. However, the benefits of volunteering are enormous to you, your family, and your community. The right match can help you find friends, reach out to the community, learn new skills, and even advance your career. Number 7. Cultivate healthy relationships. Strong relationships are important to your happiness and a healthy life. People with good quality friendships handle stress much better. A good friend can really help you in difficult times. People with a supportive partner recover better from heart attacks and other illnesses. Number 8. Choose wisely what you hear, read, and see, for they are the avenues of the soul. Number 9. Think true thoughts, forgive, and give thanks. According to the Mayo Clinic, positive thinking is linked to a wide range of health benefits, including longer lifespan, less stress, lower rates of depression, increased resistance to the common cold, better stress management and coping skills, lower risk of cardiovascular disease-related death, and increased physical well-being. And number 10. Spend time alone with God. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Matthew 6:33. You are a product of what you do daily. Having daily quiet times with God is the best investment for the success of your life.
And now we go to the Record and Focus Christian News magazine for news from around the world.
A suggestion by the Australian Greens Party that it's time to stop reciting the Lord's Prayer in Parliament has provoked a flurry of opinions on all sides of the debate. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Greens Senator Richard Di Natale said the Lord's Prayer is an anachronism in a diverse nation that has a tradition of separation of church and state. A number of Christian groups went public with their support of the current practice, saying the prayer represents an important part of Australia's cultural heritage. Some wondered, however, about the value of a compulsory and possibly insincere prayer. Previous attempts by the Greens and others to scrap the Lord's Prayer have been soundly defeated by the major parties.
The correct answer for today's historic question is B. Dr. Joseph Emmanuel Evans. Dr. Evans is also the first Bahamian to practice urology in the Bahamas.
So it was Super Bowl Sunday last weekend. I am sure some of you are happy, some of you are just absolutely devastated, and others are just stunned. You know, many people figured their team had it in the bag, whoever your team was. Well, here's the thing about sports, eh? Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. Somebody has to come first, and then whoever remembers who placed second, except to say how much they were beaten by. But sports fans are passionate about their teams, win or lose. But most of us want to be with the winners. Jesus Christ extends an invitation to you to join a team that always wins. As a matter of fact, his team has never lost, and it has been forecasted that he will never lose a battle. Even when things look bad and the other team looks like it's winning, we know that the battle has already been won, and victory is ours. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. On behalf of the production team, thanks for joining us for Adventist News Update. I'm Andrea Musgrove for the South Bahamas Conference Media Network.
Hello, I'm Curtis Bryan, and I'm encouraging you to join me on Lessons from the Word every Friday evening and Sabbath afternoon. On Lessons from the Word, we look at various discussions, various topics from our Bible. Anytime you want a clearer picture of what's going on, just join us on Lessons from the Word.